And welcome back to the Crypto Hulk Show. We got a great one lined up for you. I'm going to start off with probably the biggest cryptocurrency that I've seen to have connections with, let's say, whoops, 3-letter, and I can't say agencies. Oh, man. Pretty amazing. This crypto AMP, when I studied it, oh my God, it goes all the way back. The companies involved in this, I got to be careful what I say because I got an open show right now. This thing's got to go. Let's get into the show. It's 420. It is 420 time. Oh my God. My name's Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor, not a crypto advisor, none of the above. I don't know anything about crypto. I don't know anything about investing. Before every show, I don't know anything about finances either. My goal for the channel is to get you financially destroyed. Everything on the show is a lie. Before every show, I snort cocaine, inject heroin, take any kind of hardcore drug you can think of, and I'm powered by that, okay? Totally affects judgment and, creates havoc. Now, let's get into this. You're going to want to, I got to go right into this because this is massive right here. It's going to take a lot of time. Let me get my all my stuff in order here. Where are we at? So we've got Alchemy Pay that I got lined up. Okay, we're getting into talent, and I can't say protocol, okay? This crypto, there's Bill Quackenbush. Thank you very much, Billy Boy, for the tax-free donation. I got a shirt on because, like, the house is 66 degrees because overnight, Reno somehow went from summer up to fall. So it was like 48 degrees out. So I didn't have the heat on because it's summer, right? And I woke up and it's like 66 in the house. I'm like, fuck. Try to see what the temperature is. Hey, Siri. What's the temperature? 41 degrees in the summer. The low, it got down to 38 degrees. Just saying, not a big deal, right? 38 degrees. But when I woke up, yeah, it's 38 outside. So I'm putting on a shirt. I don't really want to turn on the heat in the house. It'd be kind of silly. So I just throw a shirt on. So I know. But that does seem kind of cold for the winter. I mean, for the summer, you know? And I was like, damn, is it like in the 30s and it's fucking June shit? Like almost July, 32 degrees or something? Or I'm like, damn, man, that's fucking weirdo. All right. We're talking about talent, and I can't say protocol. Now, I'm going to start off reading this one, and you're going to get bored to death like I was. And you're going to see, oh, Crypto Hulk, this thing's possibly not even worth shit at all. And then it's going to go, see, look, you know those icebergs? You only see like the top portion of the iceberg, right? And you got like 90%. 90% of that iceberg is below the water, floating it. You don't realize how big it is. This is talent, and I can't say protocol. This thing looks like a nothing burger, and I'm going to deep dive this, and you're going to be like, oh, shit, okay? Now, you're not going to see big names per se. You're going to see some. What you're going to see are companies that have government contracts working with talent. That's what you're going to see, okay? They don't need a bunch of big names. They've already got the government behind them. That's how this thing goes. So you're not going to see all the flashy JP Morgan, all the fancy shit and everything. You're not going to see all that. You're going to start off getting really bored and not going to want to watch it. And then I'm going to show you how deep this goes with the government helping this crypto every step of the way. And you'd be like, oh, it's tied in with MIT College and Stanford University. That's where all these government, that's where all these governments work out of. Gary Gensler and the MIT and all that shit, that's a government hub. And Stanford University, right next to Silicon Valley. How convenient. That's the other one, okay? This is so government agency. I'm telling you what. Now, the ticker on it is TAL, Thomas Adam Lincoln, okay? Alrighty then, be prepared. We might have a glitch or so in the show. I'm going to try not to say anything that's too censorship worthy. D. Lindquist, thank you very much for the tax-free donation. Here we go. Talent protocol. I say get it. No, don't buy it. Don't buy anything I tell you to buy. Don't listen to him. Just buy it, damn it. Talent protocol is a decentralized platform focused on connecting talent and opportunities within the Web3 ecosystem. So right away, you want to go to sleep. I know, but just trust me. When I hit the wake up bell, you better wake up. It aims to empower individuals by allowing them to build tokenized reputations and connect with employers, investors, and communities through a talent passport application. The platform leverages blockchain technology to create a trustless, transparent system for career development and talent discovery. That first paragraph, I was almost ready to pass out. Well, maybe because it was I got home from that bar and had a few drinks. Man, that might have been the reason too. Yes, Talent Protocol has a native crypto token. It's called TAL. This token is used within the platform to incentivize participation, reward contributions, and facilitate transactions. I'm going to skip it because I'm going to have to fucking take myself out if I keep reading this. It gets better, trust me. Who are the founders? Some guy named Pedro Oliveira. Another guy named Andres Viegas and Cisco Ortiz. And then finally, Felipe Macedo. That's who are the founders of this project. And I'm just thinking, this has got to be a fucking joke, crypto. Why would somebody recommend this shit to me? They're wasting my fucking time. But since it's a Crypto Hulk fan, I can't be lazy. And I got to do my due diligence at least. Give it like 10 minutes. I was ready to stop looking at this thing in the first minute. After the first minute, when I read this, I'm like, fuck, dude, this is so fucking stupid. Let's keep reading. Talent Protocol has received funding from several notable investors. Well, they better be notable because otherwise I told myself this fucking investigation is over. So I look at who they're working with and I'm like, Base blockchain, like Coinbase blockchain. I said, I wonder if that's who they're working with. You got Protocol Labs. And Protocol Labs is working with Filecoin. Okay, we're starting to maybe get somewhere. Amica Brands, Shilling Capital, Accomplice. Now, I looked up Accomplice. And after we do this little section here, we're going to go to the rest with Accomplice. It is so government agency deeped out. I'm telling you, this thing, Accomplice, is a venture capital firm. You know why? It's the government that funds projects they want to succeed. Oh, now it's starting to get real, isn't it? Okay, but let me. we gotta have our meat and potatoes before dessert. We can't have dessert first on Crypto Hulk channel. We're gonna learn a little bit about this. I stress a little bit, and then we're getting into all the good stuff because this one, if you're from South America, this one's a wiener. The current. I mean, if you're from Mexico, not South America, because all the European-based people in South America are like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Those are people in Mexico. Ay, caramba, señor, you're correcto. Any fintech? Okay, you got Base. I mean, I could stop there. You've got Coinbase hooked up with them. I could stop right there and say, ladies and gentlemen, to me, that's a green light. But we like dramatics on this show, so let's have a little fucking circus, all right? Base, which is Coinbase. Oh, shit, Crypto Hulk. Wait a second. I think I'm getting a stiffy in the South Pole right now. Talent Protocol is built on Base blockchain and Coinbase Ventures. Oh, bring it on there, man. Bring it on. You got CoinList, Protocol Labs, and Amica brands. The Base Ecosystem Fund, led by Coinbase Ventures. Oh, man. Now, Coinbase is one of your biggest crypto exchanges in the entire world. That's not a big deal. Coinbase only has relationships with all the biggest cryptos in the world. That's not a big deal. Coinbase is only partnered up with BlackRock, the biggest financial corporation in the entire world. That's not a big deal, Crypto Hulk. And I'm like, wow, okay, you're one of those special kids. God, homeschooled? Yeah, I figured that. Okay, mom always said you're special. Yep. I know your type. Now, I'm going to look in here a little bit. Let me check this other page. That's the same page. Okay, so I decided to look up who are these partners of Talent Protocol. You got, or Talent Labs. You got Protocol Labs right here. They're hooked in with Filecoin. That's a pretty established cryptocurrency, I'd say. Then you have underneath Protocol Labs, who's hooked up with Talent Protocol. So you got Talent Protocol, and one of their helpers is Protocol Labs. But within Protocol Labs, see how you're gonna love it. You're gonna love all these deep divey shit going on. These government people are slick. Okay, they're really good at hiding shit. You have a company called Bacalao, B-A-C-A, Baca, not vaca. It's not vaca, senores, Bacalao. B-A-C-A-L-H-A-U. You're going to love this one. Bacalao is a platform used to run Docker containers in the old days, and it's WASM. WASM! See, W-A-S-M, that's what Ripple's using. Oh, no, I'm just showing you some connections. We haven't even begun yet. I mean, besides all the other stuff I just told you. So this one's running WASM. What's up? That's Ripple right there, okay? Then you got LilyPad. They're built on Filecoin again, but look who we got here. Chainlink Labs, a Ripple partner. Well, son of a bitch, Crypto Hulk. Good things come to those that wait. And we've just started. We're not even done. We just started. Like I said, it starts off really boring, and then we get into all kind of government shit. Like, I got to be careful because I might step on a landmine here, and the channel might go, adios, motherfucker, right? So we got Chainlink Labs, and guess what? They're a Ripple partner. Okay, well, damn, Crypto Hulk, keep going. Sounds like it might be a promising project. You think? You got Axie Infinity mixed up with this. Wait a second. Never mind. Strike that. General Portfolio is in here. They help unicorns. So they got a lot of unicorn type companies helping them. Not the Andreessen Horowitz kind of shit or Y Combinator, but they've got government funded venture capital companies involved. I don't have time to look all this shit up. If I did, I'd probably have 15 to 20 shell government companies working on this project, and I have a bunch of guys with guns and badges knocking on the door. So I'm going to leave it at that. I've already lost a channel. I'm not doing the deep dive shit. I don't got nothing to prove. Okay, you can piss farther than me. That's fine. I don't care. because I know where this shit ends up with a channel that goes cuatro cinco, comprende? What is cuatro cinco, Crypto Hulk? It's Mexican quicksand, man. I know how this shit goes down. Cuatro cinco, comprende? All right, let's keep moving. Crypto Hulk, do you got racial jokes going on in your channel? Oh yeah, all the time. Now, guess who also? You're not gonna believe this shit. Hoo-wee. Hold on. Whew. You got ZK Sync hooked in this thing. Oh, what? Crypto Hulk? Are you serious? ZK Sync. Let me read. Well, you've got Polymarket and ZK Sync are examples of companies that are working with this right here. That's pretty massive right there. They got Dragonfly. You got companies like Dragonfly Capital or Pantera, very similar companies like that. Where this thing is pretty secretive. Grok is saying it's likely that Dragonfly, Pantera Capital, ZK Sync, or Polymarket's involved in this. So it's not me guessing; it'll be Grok 3 guessing. Okay. If Grok is 25% right, any of these are fucking giants that are helping him out. Okay. I can't imagine Grok being 75% wrong. All right. Now, Amica Brands is a Hong Kong-based lender. Now, that's interesting because we have Ripple Hong Kong. I've already shown you that. 2014, Ripple was already in Hong Kong 10 years ago. Singapore, 10 years. Ripple was in Singapore. Ripple's already been in these countries and made official relationships that my channel is the only one that can show you. Amica Brands is a company that has 300 crypto projects going right now. They give money to projects. This is Chinese money, okay? I don't know if you ever heard of OpenSeas, but OpenSeas works with Amica, and Amica's working. It goes all the way up to Talent Protocol. I didn't write down all the chain, but I deep dive. Amica, if you go back to my original article, Amica is involved in this. They're working with OpenSeas. They're also working with Dapper Labs. TON, T-O-N, the Open Network, they're working with them. Zero Gravity Labs, BondX, Cross the Ages, Yield Build Games. There are gamings involved in this. I'm cherry picking this. They're saying that it's likely there's something called Accomplice. Now, with Accomplice, Grok is showing no relationships. I'm going to help Grok find those relationships, and I did. But don't forget, Accomplice is a U.S.-based venture capital firm. We're talking 3-letter agencies here, right? In early stage tech and blockchain with a focus on fintech, crypto, and decentralized technology. Accomplice. Do not forget that because that's going to end up being massive later in the show. Let me continue. Relfadine is another company it's involved with. Talks again about the Chainlink build program. Protocol Labs collaborates with Chainlink. So Chainlink, again, is popping up in this to support the Chainlink build BUILD program of decentralized oracles. You got something called 2.5 intelligence. I didn't look all these things up. I could spend 3 days on this. This has a lot of deep dive stuff. Oh, geez, hold on. I got to speak in code on this one. Axelar's involved. Let me repeat. Yeah, but so you can verify this. I'm going to read it off. North Island Ventures, crypto-focused investment. So you have a company called North Island Ventures, okay? It was founded in 2020, based in New York. It's a venture capital. This talent protocol has so many venture capital companies in it. It's crazy, okay? Listen to this. Crypto and blockchain companies. Now, Axelar is under North Island Ventures. It reads here. Addressable. Okay, Axelar, in parentheses, interoperability network. Axelar and now I got to be careful with this one. Boy, Charlie, boy, and then the word group. Boy, Charlie, boy, then group. That's the show that when I talked about it, my other channel, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Now, who are they? They supply all the crypto exchanges in the world with crypto. I'm not going to mention crypto names of exchanges. This particular 3-letter company that I just talked about is at the top of the world, and they supply that top 5 family. Starts with the R and ends with the child. That's who owns that company. And they supply the whole entire world with crypto. They're in on this. That makes you go, boo. I'm telling you, when I saw that, I was like, I had to stop. I said, when I talked about that dumb shit, Crypto Hulk channel 4 years ago went, whoop, and I'm not using a finger. And then you got Axelar. That's Ripple. This particular group right here, I was like, no way. That's the secret family of the world. I was like, oh shit, what did Crypto Hulk just find? Hoo-wee, be careful what you find, because it might get your channel yanked. Yeah, man. Pretty amazing. Truly. I'm watching very much what I say right now. I'm trying to be very well behaved. Although I'm exposing all the secrets, I'm a very naughty little boy. These people that are like watching us right now are like, how does this motherfucker get this shit? It's like he traces it all the way back to that B, and I can't say C, and I can't say B, and I can't say the word group. And that is the R child, and I can't say family. Oh, man, Crypto Hulk, no way. I'm telling you, man, this is what I find. That's why I'm Crypto Hulk, man. I'm here to help, right? Crypto Hulk is here to rescue y'all from getting in bogus, dumb shit crypto. So yeah, that was pretty interesting there. Let me see what else I can find. Where did I get that at? Axie Infinity. Island Adventures. So I kind of lost my place. I don't know what happened. It just like isn't here anymore. So I'm gonna move on. Besides, that's when I saw that was pretty amazing right there. I'm just going to continue on. I know I probably missed some other things. This thing is so connected. It's crazy. Yeah, of course, Dapper Labs again, NBA Top Shot. Now, there's something called, I think, DraftKings. They're all mixed up in this, too. That DraftKings video game shit, this is all government stuff that came out. DraftKings was some kind of government cryptocurrency. DraftKings was, in my opinion, was some kind of government cryptocurrency gaming. They'd use this platform of crypto, then they realized they could turn it into a gaming system. Okay, let me go to the next page because I seem to have lost that one. Now I'm going to connect. I did another search, and I'm going to connect governments or schools to this particular talent protocol, accomplice. Now, accomplice, here we go. Another deep dive. Same talent protocol. We're going down rabbit hole it brings us to a different rabbit hole, which brings us to another one. Now, accomplice was all that in a bag of chips. Now, where did accomplice start? It came from a company called Atlas, ATLAS. Then I can't say the word venture. That's where all this came from, out of the 1980s, okay? Now we're taking it way back. In 1980, Atlas, and I cannot say venture, the firm initially operated as a transatlantic venture between Boston, that's where Gary Gensler is right now. He started off in Boston and he's probably going back to MIT to teach again. Gary Gensler is the plant. His job was to shut it all down for 4 years, okay? This Atlas started to work between Boston and Europe, connecting them, and that's right where Gary Gensler was. Now, in 2014, that's when Atlas split. And that's very interesting because that's right when Ripple hit the scene. What I'm thinking maybe is Atlas was controlling shit in the United States. We got more evidence and they started calling this Project Ripple and kind of had us, because that's just the same year Ripple came out, about 2014. Now in 2015, Atlas became known as Accomplice. Now, 2015, what's that? That's when Ripple officially became a currency and was the Ripple company. The XRP was officially called a currency by the United States government in a court hearing called the 2015 Ripple Settlement against the Department of Justice, Treasury, United States Attorney's Office, and all that. Ripple became official in 2015. Just so happens that Accomplice takes over the name Atlas. And it splits off from Europe and America. It splits off. Just a coincidence, right? Okay. Let's continue here. There's 3 guys here. Jeff Fagnan, not Fag. Fagnan, Fagnan, Jeff Fagnan, Ryan Moore, and Mike Volpe, Volpe. I didn't do a background on them because something bad's probably going to come back, and I'm not dealing with the government 3-letter agencies. So I did not deep dive these people, but they're the ones who were like the founders of Atlas and Accomplice, okay? So I didn't want to get into that. Step into some doo-doo. Now, Accomplice is hooked up with DraftKings and Amazon. Now, there's a company called Carbon Black. Now, it was acquired by VMware. Now, after my studies in Ripple, there's a lot of VMware stuff going on with Ripple. And a lot of people think, this is just my opinion from what I read, that VMware is a 3-letter agency, okay? VMware pops up all over in Ripple's early days. And they're still around. No explicit evidence suggests Accomplice or Atlas to government contracts, grants, or partnerships. However, Some portfolio companies may have indirect government connections. Absolutely. Carbon Black, here we go. And it lists a couple of them. Carbon Black, cybersecurity company acquired by VMware. The portfolio. So let me skip past that because I don't want to start, I don't want to dig in too deep to all this. You got MIT is working with this accomplice. Why am I talking about MIT? Because Gary Gensler was there and he's back again. And MIT works with accomplice who funds Protocol Labs, the talent protocol company. Okay. And that's where all this is going. It's all funneled from company who calls another company a different name. This is how all this happens, okay? This is a fucking racket. You got Harvard College mixed up in this and Amazon. There's a company called PillPack. There was some drug stuff going on and working with the government on different kind of projects. You have, it says here, Harvard, MIT, and Stanford are like mixed up in this. Okay, this is so fucking huge. Let me keep going. Talks about DraftKings. DraftKings has explored cryptocurrency integrations. I'll skip past that. I'm just gonna keep it going here. Now, it's interesting. I want you to see something here with this project. It's different than all these others. This project doesn't have any direct banking investments. Very interesting. So there's almost like a separation of the banks and the government, right? These other projects, you'll have different financial institutions or banks or JP Morgan and shit. I want you to notice this one. There are no federally licensed banks of any kind or federally licensed Andreessen Horowitz investment. None of that, right? It's always these smaller kind of nobody knows who this investment company is, right? That's who invests in this. That's why I'm saying this is a government agency. That's what this is. Because you can't have no banks and a JP Morgan or a BlackRock working with the government secret agencies. This is all trying to be secret. This is what I found. I'm like, damn, this is a very interesting little nighttime bed story here. Let's keep going. What are the strengths? The strengths are the deep ties to Boston's academic and scientific communities, MIT and Harvard. Oh my God, everybody. This is totally government agency. Okay, that's it for that. I'm going to leave this article alone right now. It just keeps getting deeper. I could spend 2 hours on this. So I'm going to call it a wrap with the talent protocol. 01 DK Han, welcome to the entry-level membership. I'm going to call it a wraps with that one there. Chris Sharp, talent protocol is on Uphold. Thanks, Hulk. XRP OBD says F Coinbase. Yeah, so that is my conclusion with talent protocol. This thing is it's pretty massively deep. It took me probably an hour and a half just looking up this because there's a lot of shit that I got to check this and check that. And there's a lot of work involved in that one. I'm going to click out of all these pages for the talent protocol. It takes up like half my fucking screen. So let me click out of it here. That thing is, and they cover their tracks really well. I'll tell you what, when I did the search using different AI with this, it normally searches, something pops up in 15 seconds. Oh, let me tell you something with this. Some of the searches I were doing, it would take 5 minutes to load. That's how deep, and I don't know what's going on. But this fucking shit, I got 8 to 10 windows across the top of my screen, and each one took 3 to 5 minutes to load. This thing is fucking massive, okay? I could get up and like go make a sandwich and shit and come back and it's still looking for information. That's how deep this shit is. Now, I don't know if it was getting redirected by 3-letter agencies or whatever, but one thing I know, this shit shouldn't take that long. Most of my searches take now a search. Sometimes I might do 10 searches for one crypto, but each search normally should only take 30 seconds to a minute at the absolute most. This shit was taking 5 minutes, and I'm like, fuck, because it would have to, I don't know, whatever it would do, but it was something else. Okay, let me keep clicking out of this here. Venture. Let's see. WorldCoin. Let's get into WorldCoin. Some of you want to know about WorldCoin, and I'm going to look it up. There's not, I didn't want to do a WorldCoin, but I just did it anyway, and it came up just what I thought. So you're not going to be excited about WorldCoin. I wouldn't put any money in WorldPay personally. You can do whatever you want, but I just didn't see this is worth a shit. I'll give it like a couple minutes, and then we'll be done with WorldCoin. WorldCoin rebranded as World Network in 2024. It's a for-profit crypto. Uses the eye biometric scanning to verify. Aims to create a global identity. All this just sounds fucking scary. Like, I don't know anybody in their right mind who want to invest in this dumb shit. They're trying. It has some good points to it because I want to talk about the good and the bad. Its goal is to be able to identify whether a person is real or an AI bot. Okay, that's very legitimate. Their goal is to get everybody in the whole world to have a digital ID. In a perfect world, that would be great, but we got communists, especially in America. About half the country's fucking communist. So they're going to use that shit against us. But that's what WorldCoin is supposed to do, distinguish humans from bots, AI bots, and facilitate DeFi. And they support the concept of universal basic income. That's where the communist stuff comes in. It's not my opinion, it's fact. They want to be able to give everybody in the world money for free for doing nothing. They want to incentivize the fucking lazy bastards of the world. Not a crypto I really kind of want to get into. Now, here's what's very interesting. It's a San Francisco-based company, so you know it's straight up communist, and Berlin, Germany. Now, why is that interesting? Because Ripple's first customer was what? Fedor Bank. And what country was that in? Germany. Now, think of the last names of the people at Ripple in the early days. Schwartz, David Schwartz, Rebecca Schwartz, their sister, Evan Schwartz, the brother, Stefan Thomas, that's a German guy right there. There's a connection, strong connection with Germany, with Ripple, and this WorldCoin thing and communists, okay? Let's look here. You got a guy named Sam Altman. He created OpenAI, ChatGPT. That's him. Altman is a president of Y Combinator. They give startup companies money. He's also partnered in with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. This guy's in, very in. And of course, Sam's in with UBI, Universal Basic Income. So that's why in the beginning, a lot of the Democrats were pro crypto kind of a thing, because the computer people like this Universal Basic Income idea shit. So that's why the Democrats really were drawn to that in the beginning. But then once the Democrats, this is my opinion, realized, whoa, wait a second, this crypto can take people out of poverty. Oh, no. We can't have this. We can't have that. And that's why they stalled this shit for like 4 years. When people like you and me started coming up making money, oh, no. We can't have this. It's okay to have universal basic income for crypto, but no, you can't help people come out of poverty. That would destroy communism right there. Oh, God, no. Okay, that's why, no, get this crypto out of here. Get crypto out of the United States. The Democrats were doing for 4 years. Talks about some of the people involved in the project. I'm not getting into them. These are people like nobodies. Tools for Humanity is one of the founders. Like, come on now. Like, I don't want to hear all that crazy shit. They have a World Visa card. Tools for Humanity partner with Visa to launch a debit card that converts WLD crypto. That's what it is if you want to buy it. WLD. Visa is hooked up with them. They also now Visa is a massive Ripple partner, and it looks like Stripe hooked up with WorldCoin. Stripe is working with Stripe is working with Stellar. So now you've got the Ripple and the Stellar connection to this crypto. Indirectly, that you don't have Ripple partners directly with them or Stellar. It's World is utilizing Ripple through Visa, and WorldCoin is utilizing Stellar through Stripe. That's how it is. I didn't see really any big accelerate. Oh, wait, let's see. Hold on. Okay, Andreessen Horowitz out of San Francisco. They're probably one of the most popular startup accelerators. They're mixed in this with $135 million donation. You got Khosla, KHOSLA Ventures. They gave $250 million. Bain Crypto Capital. That's a popular one. They gave $135 million. Then you got something called Tiger Global. That's one where there's 3 letters in there. That one's a secretive one. I did a show on Tiger, and it gave me a lot of negative feedback. We talked about Tiger for a little bit. There's no big banks involved. They got kicked out of a lot of countries like Kenya, France, United Kingdom, Spain, Portugal, and Hong Kong. Privacy violations. Yeah, those are the EU's flagged WorldCoin for breaches of data protection laws. See, that's why everybody's giving their pupil and iris scan, and these companies, and WorldCoin's getting busted for violating privacy laws. I'm like, wow, dude. Okay, I'm done with WorldCoin. That's so fucking stupid. If you invest in that, you deserve to get your cheeks clapped, all right? Let me check the comments here. Oh, my. I believe, this is an open show, correct? Or is this a closed show? I think I had it closed. I can't remember. Yes, what? Open. Okay, it's an open show. So you're going to have commercials. That's why you have commercials. And I make money on commercials. So that's why you make that playlist, and I can't tell you the rest. Let me see if there's any questions here. I'll go to the next one. It'll be Alchemy Pay. Got 45 minutes. Okay. Knuckle Dragger. All right, next. Alchemy Pay. Let's take a little look at this. Singapore based. Okay, so right off the top, we know that Ripple what their first crypto exchange was called Ripple Singapore. Gold and silver in your wallet. They had wallets. You could transfer crypto, money, gold, silver. They had like a liquidity hub thing going on. They had securities, derivatives, kind of things like that. All this stuff. It was like a test. And so that's where Alchemy Pay is coming out of the country of Singapore. Super Ripple friendly. Founded in 2017. That goes almost all the way back, doesn't it, everybody? Alchemy Pay operates in 173 countries. How convenient. And they have over 300 fiat to crypto channels. It uses an ERC20 token. Now, how did this thing start? A guy named John Tan, which doesn't list too many credentials with him. The technology guy's name is Sean Shi. Of course, he's a ghost. Molly Zheng. So I'm gonna just come out and say now, this is all China, like Ripple China. We know if you watch Crypto Hawk channel, I'm not showing the evidence now, Ripple China 2013. So we know that Ripple made China's cryptocurrency called the digital yuan. So it would make sense that in Singapore, you'd have these no-name Chinese people. Now, the only person who has something is a former Visa executive. His name's Robert McCracken. He's the only one who's probably not Chinese in this deal. He's a former Visa executive. So that makes sense. These other people, they're probably communist people's, Communist Party people. They're working on this Alchemy Pay thing. What is Alchemy Pay for Ripple? Alchemy Pay powers the Ripple Lab stablecoin, enabling purchases. Tether is working with this company. Uniswap is not one of my favorite exchanges. Coinbase Wallet, another one of my not favorite ones. TON, T-O-N. Avalanche is working here, along with Binance and KuCoin, Shopify, Visa, and MasterCard. Both of these are Ripple and Stellar customers. That's how all this is getting together. Is you got Ripple in there with Tether and fucking Visa, all these people. So this is going to be a successful project, of course. You don't really have big money that we see putting in here like JP Morgan and shit like this. Again, I feel this is a strong Chinese government using Singapore project. See, it's different. It's not Chinese government with Ripple. And this one is Chinese government with Singapore in the middle as a buffer zone working through these other companies. Because that's why we're not seeing B of A and all these other banks, HSBC, BNY Mellon. You're not seeing any banks invest in this. My opinion only. This is out of Singapore, which means it's Chinese government. You're not going to have banks getting into this. So you're going to have a government funded through some shell companies, probably Draper Dragon, CMT Digital, Hashkey. You got INCE Capital, MEXC, and these kinds of things, LD Capital. You're not seeing the big names in this one. Very interesting because you're seeing Ripple and shit like that in here, Visa, MasterCard, but you're not seeing like banks or investment corporations like BlackRock or JP Morgan Investments or Grayscale or some shit like that because this is government, in my opinion. I have to clarify things with my opinions because what I do is I'll look at facts and then just for me to make sense of things, that's where I'll throw in my opinion, which means nothing at all. Is Tether going to die out? Now, remember, Tether is going to create a stable coin. So that's separate from Tether. So Tether, the company, can then make a separate company called whatever ABC Tether stablecoin. That could be successful if it's not tied to Tether itself, okay? So that's how they're going to get around. That's how Tether is going to get around regulations, is open up a brand new company and do it the right way. That way it can't be affected by the old company. Garrett B, thank you very much for that tax-free donation. He says, late fee for kinetic genergy. Let's go to the next article on Alchemy Pay. Who's funding that one? Let me just take a look here real quick. That might be it. Let me click out of that Alchemy Pay. I got like 5 Alchemy pages open, so give me a second. Overview. Some of this overlaps. I did different searches, and sometimes the information I get is the same. It like repeats itself. Some of it's new, and then it repeats itself in other places. Yeah, so same, nothing new from that, what I said. I'll give you my wrap up here. I kind of did already, but I'll give you it again in a second. Okay, one of the guys, Robert McCracken, that started Alchemy Pay, he studied blockchain at MIT. See, all this comes back to governments. Okay, MIT, Stanford University are the 2 major ones. In the past 5 years, when I've studied what 3-letter agencies are involved in stuff, it comes back MIT, Stanford, and Virginia. And that's the headquarters of the central, and I can't say intelligence, and I can't say agency. Those 3 cities or schools or whatever agencies keep popping up. So this guy who helped start Alchemy Pay is a former advisor, and he studied at MIT, of course, with all the other government agents. Sean Shi attended universities in Canada and China. Well, Canada's pretty much communist already, so that makes sense that this whole Alchemy Pay thing is a way that the Chinese are getting into the payment system all over the world, but predominantly in the Asia area. They're utilizing Ripple like they have from day one, 2013, Ripple China. I'm the only channel that showed you that. So this is, in my opinion, a very heavily Chinese-influenced payment platform called Alchemy Pay. And you can kind of see my hesitation with me putting money into it. I'm going to pass. It's just too heavily Chinese for me. I don't see enough American companies. I don't see like enough fintechs in this. There's a bunch of Mr. Zhizhu and Zhuzhaja, and I'm not trying to get into all that shit. So me personally, I'm going to pass on Alchemy Pay. Yes, it's right in there with Ripple and all these things. Could it be successful? Probably, absolutely. Can you make money out of it? I'm sure you probably could. It's just I don't like to deal with Chinese personally. I'm not getting into it. So I'm not fucking with it. If I'm not seeing, I mean, it's got Ripple in there. It's got some great connections, awesome connections. You got Ripple involved. I mean, shit. I am just not going to fuck with it. I'll pass. There's a lot of other opportunities out there. If I can make money without having Chinese involved, that's my personal thing. So that's where I'm going with that one. Let me check your comments here. We're at 53 minutes. Okay, perfect. Garrett B. Just added 8,000 to Talent Protocol. If it does 75% or more, I'll buy someone a $500 membership. Oh, damn. Very interesting people we got in this channel. Never heard of that one before. Somebody giving away a $500 membership. Son of bitch. It's got to hit the numbers, though, so I get it. Look, these things pump and dump. Look, what I do is I just show you guys cryptos that I investigate, okay? I could miss a whole bunch of stuff. I could be completely wrong, and that's fine. I'm human. It's called making a mistake. It's fine. I make mistakes all the time, and I keep going. I can't tell you whether to invest in the cryptos that we've talked about already. I can tell you my opinion. Some people want to know my opinion. Crypto Hulk, you studied this, you looked into it, this and that. What would you do and why? Hey, Alchemy Pay, if you took out the Chinese from it, I would be like, damn, that's fucking awesome. You put the Chinese in, I don't trust them. So, but that doesn't matter. It's up to you and what you think you got to do. Ripple's worked with China from day one. It's probably no different than anything else. This is just my personal thing. I don't want to tell you not to invest in it and it goes up to $10. Like, so just, this is just my personal preference. It's all that it is. I'm not saying anything about the Chinese involvement in this. I just don't like fucking dealing with them. I want nothing to do with them, actually. So, that's that. Are they tied in with business? Yeah, they're tied in all the way at the top. That's why Ripple's working with. That's why they came out with Ripple China in 2013, where Ripple made the Chinese CBDC. They're tied right into the top 5 families of the world. I got it. I just don't like fucking dealing with them. So that's just me. Let's look. How much lower? See, now you guys are thinking, okay, with all this cheap crypto. Let me look at the price of, well, you can tell me, you're all out there looking at shit. What is XRP? Let's have a little fun. What's XRP at right now? Yeah, isn't XDC Chinese? Yeah, it is. And it's just unfortunately, you know, $1.94, $1.96. Okay. We got a 10% off sale or something like that going on. $1.95. It's going to $1.50, probably, somebody says. XLM is 22 cents. Oh, dang. Okay, well, hey, if they can keep whatever's going on out there with this little conflict, keep it up until July 2nd. I'm trying to buy cheap crypto. Just keep sending those missiles or whatever you're doing. Keep this shit up, because when the 2nd of the month hits, I'm buying a fuck ton of crypto at a discount price. Also waiting for HBAR to hit 11 cents. Oh, what's HBAR at right now? I remember when HBAR was like 30 or 35 cents or 37 cents. I thought 14 for HBAR. Oh, shit. That's fucking cheap. 13 cents, depending if you go there. Is this the first Black Swan event? We're in it. We're in the Black Swan. Look, I don't know if it goes like, you know, like bell curve or something, you know, like a standard curve. I don't know. We're definitely, we've been in a Black Swan for 4 years. Maybe at the beginning phase, like the setup phase. You know you're in a Black Swan, listen, when the world's global economy shuts down. Are we in the middle of Black Swan now? No. It's got to get bad. You got to destroy this. I think we're a couple of years out. They could speed it up. They could speed it up. I don't know. Look, it's not what day and time. It's the time of the sign. You get it? The sign. Look around. What do you see? If the whole world's economies collapse, that's a Black Swan. When the banking system stops and we have to switch over to a crypto system, that's the Black Swan. Before that, we aren't there yet. I'm still able to go out and use a Visa. I'm still able to pay with dollars, right? Okay, we haven't hit no Black Swan yet at the peak. We're probably in the beginning stages, absolutely. The way you get rich is through a bad shit that has to happen. And it won't be over in one day. Okay, there's going to be a lot of pain. I don't know for how long. It's not going to be that long, maybe a couple weeks or something. I don't know. It's got to be bad enough to shut down the old system and flip the switch on the new system. And that's when you guys get rich. There's going to be a lot of pain. Hey, there's been some boom, boom, pow going on in the Middle East. Maybe something pops off in your country or mine. This isn't all going to be fun. Like, oh, I'm just going to invest in crypto and I'll be rich. No, maybe New York gets blown the fuck up. I don't know. Oh shit, Crypto Hulk. Yeah, this is not, like I'm telling you, man, expect to have pain. Expect to have pain. Okay, get your crypto set up. I got mine locked up in Caleb Brown. I got my other one split up in the other place, the little nano ledger shit. XTC is 5 cents. Okay. Hasn't dropped. Went from 7 cents to 5. Now, again, 5 years ago, I was saying on my channel, now I was probably way off, but I was like, yeah, I think XRP, I got out at 31 cents. And I'm like, yep, I think before we have a black swan, this XRP will be down at 30 cents or 15 cents or something like that. You never know. But I'll say that 5 years ago. Because look, this is going to, prices have to dump so they can get the corporations in to buy it cheap, okay? They're going to buy it off the order books like Jed McCaleb was doing with Mt. Gox in 2014 or whatever. He showed you they can buy at cheap price that we won't even know about. And then when they do whatever they do, all of a sudden the price just flips all of a sudden, okay? Now, one of the things, they may be lowering the price so that they can buy a block. Okay, the Ethereum block sale. What happened in, I think, 2015 is Ethereum had a block sale. They took a bunch of Ethereum, locked it in at a certain price, and then sold it to the Chinese and probably Andreessen Horowitz and JP Morgan and shit. All these early people got Ethereum at the same price. It's called a block sale. So that's how these banks, okay, let's say the price of XRP is 30 cents. If everybody starts buying it, you've seen when we do what we do, we pump a price on something, the price goes up like that or whatever, okay? When they want to give a crypto to a certain bank or a certain industry, they could probably do it right now. Even if XRP is at $2, they could probably find XRP for 30 cents a piece and sell it to these banks. So look, now we're getting out of my area, but I've seen how they do this before. So what you got to do is this: focus on buying shit that's good, locking up in institutional custody like Caleb and Brown, and put some in a hardware wallet just for a rainy day, and hope for the best. Dark pool, yes, that's what Jed McCaleb explained. Is they had dark pools. Jed McCaleb went on to create Stellar and fucking Stronghold and some other shit like that. But this whole crypto space is like so much trickery and shadowy stuff, and I don't trust them at all. And let me check some comments here. Talent is up 10% from an hour ago, and that's all good. But I'm telling you, the Talent protocol. Okay, so in my opinion, that I would tell my friend and not you, I would tell easily any of my friends, dump 1,000 into Talent protocol. Easily tell them, just do that. It's a solid project that goes pretty deep with the connections and stuff. Like, absolutely. We're at 1 hour and 3 minutes, so I will go over. Well, I haven't got anything left. Not the top of my screen. So I'm going to have to look for, so let me take some requests. I feel like a 1980s radio DJ. Do I have requests at the request hour? We got Talent out of the way. We got Wild or WorldCoin, WLD. I got on my list still XCN. Was that JP Morgan Onyx or something? And then QNT. So I got XCN and Quant for tonight. Let's see, for which ones we want to look at besides XCN? Stronghold is not a gem. From the evidence that I was looking at, it's a pile of shit. But maybe it ends up, but I'm just saying, The evidence that we were looking at was not good for Stronghold. Telcoin, nah, that's going to be a boring one. I mean, I own Telcoin. We all talked about it, but Quant, CeeLo, Stu Lavelle wants to know about C. Becky Van Ostel, we did DAG the other day. So go back and look over the past 2 days where he went over Constellation DAG. XYO, that's not going to be one that's going to. Pentagon Chain, Strobe Energy Web. Strobe. Okay, Energy Web. Let's look at that one. So I've already got XCN, Quant, Energy Web, maybe 2 more in case one of those are really weak. Kita, Beam. XCN's already on my list. TARS AI. Solo and Core, Kronos, Velo, Pentagon. Okay, this Pentagon chain thing, whatever it is, I'll look it up. Okay, one last one. Electronic. Can you deep dive Synapse? Caspa. Kita. Okay, Kita, whatever the fuck that is, we'll look up Kita. All right, on tonight's show at 5 o'clock p.m., we got XCN, Quant, Energy Web, Pentagon Chain, and Kita. That'll be the 5. Now, if one of the cryptos is really, really good, it might take me 30 minutes or 40 minutes. If it's really shitty, then I'll just go through it. So those are the 5. Maybe only 2, 3 make it on the show. Maybe all 5 make it. I don't know. It just depends on how much time it takes me for each one. But that'll be it. So I'll see everybody in the PM show, 5 o'clock Pacific, and I'll see you then.